Eddie and Constance.
Sure is.
We're here in the valley. I don't even know where.
We are in Reseda.
Reseda.
Canada.
And you guys are homeless. There's a VW Bug parked right next to me where one of you sleeps and the other one is in Project Roomkey.
Yeah.
Tell me about homelessness.
Oh man, it's everything. We've literally survived a lot of conditions. I lived in the bamboo. I lived in the basin, everywhere in the basin. Off the freeways. It's a lot of almost what would you say, anarchy living, apocalyptic living. It gets rigorous.
Nobody wants you out here, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're a liability for sure.
Doesn't want you out here.
Well, you guys don't want to be out here.
We don't want to be out here, and trying to get anywhere off the streets. Once you're out here, it's really hard to get back off the streets. Project Roomkey was a great help for leg up. Unfortunately, I don't think they could house as many people as they took on to, give rooms to, or at least not in the time frame they had.
Yeah.
I'm still over there at the Super 8, hoping that I will find housing, but I've been out here with Ed because he's not housed anymore with a room.
Yeah.
So I stay out here for a day or two, go back and check in. I haven't been there much. It's tough. We don't want to end up back out here because 3 years was more than enough of living in rainstorms, torrential rain and cold and all that. It was awful.
December
hunger and freezing.
Amazing.
And not really being welcome anywhere, trying to use a bathroom, forget about it. Anything like that, trying to stay clean. It's just really hard.
And
Getting robbed all the time for everything we have. We're getting ripped off left and right.
Yeah. Take a little bit this way. The sun's not working with
moving.
us. You're fine. Look.
Okay.
So, Ed, you were saying you slept outside so much when you finally got into a hotel room with a bed, it took you a while to get used to it.
Yeah, it took me a minute. I mean, it was like, I couldn't believe, I have nothing really bad to say about, Project Roomkey. I was astounded. It was a jaw-dropping experience. The 5-star room, executive type suite. I was like, I literally could not sleep, like, laying down for a while. It took me a while to, whatever. I guess that's weird, but it was like.
So they put you in a nice place.
Yeah, the accommodations were, 4 or 5 star,
They fed us 3 times a day.
Food was good, they did what they had to do for the COVID,
And for those that don't know, Project Roomkey is a California program to help you guys that were living, because you were in a tent before that?
Right.
If we had one, if it didn't get stolen.
So you were in a tent, and then they put you in a hotel to help keep you from catching COVID.
Right, correct. We were actually off of Burbank and the 405 behind where there's the Best Western there and a Target. I think there's a coin place right there.
Yeah.
We're behind the coin place. We had a compound there. There was a lot of people. It was, after you get so many people in a situation like that, it really becomes a liability to the community. And it's not good. It's a good thing that they housed us, but we're back in the same situation. And, it's happened to a lot of people where we're back in the same situation. I guess I don't know who can I blame,
Yeah. I mean, I'm still there until January 31st it ends? Is that when it's ending?
I don't know. Let's hope it, because COVID is getting
worse.
Let's hope they extend it, or better yet, find you guys housing.
Right.
Because then they house both of you.
Yeah. Right. That would be
I'd be
wonderful.
willing for a shelter right now. I mean, anything, But I could survive out here. It's okay.
Well, you guys have been together as a couple for 12 years.
Yeah.
Correct, that's right.
And it's hard to be separated.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And the sector separates you guys.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. I tried to bring him into the room one night, and they flipped out like I was committing a capital murder or something. They're like, "You get down here right now." I'm like, "Man, it's freezing out. It's 3 a.m. He needs that place to sleep." It was the first night. And I was like, he needs a place to be out of this weather until he can get some blankets, because he wasn't able to go back and get any clothes or blankets or anything from his room. They packed all his stuff up, which we have yet to go get because we need to secure a place to put it. And money is a big object.
So that was one of the big issues, is going into Project Roomkey, you got to leave a lot of your stuff.
Well, yeah, the stuff that we used to camp wasn't really much of a loss. I hope that most of it went to somebody that could use it. I actually I had a whole nother camp set up that I packed up in the bushes and gave it to some guy. I don't know who it was, but, it's whatever,
We acquired a lot
we
of
can
stuff.
We can acquire the stuff again, It's just, you become a liability. That's the bad part, being out here.
So what now?
I don't know.
I'm going to try and get housed over here at the Canoga site, and hopefully, if I can get housed, bring Ed into the housing that I have, and Clutch. Where's he?
Yeah, your pup?
There he is. We've had him 10 years, so he's not going anywhere. We're used to, like I said, we lived in a building for 10 years. We paid our rent every month. Everything was cool. Someone told on us, and bam, we were out here just like that quick. Yeah. So that was culture shock.
So we talked about this earlier. You were in a commercial building that wasn't supposed to be there, even though you were paying somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got evicted, and you were there for 10 years, and that's what caused your homelessness.
Yeah, that's how we ended up out here. So it wasn't from lack of paying our rent or bills. We did that every month faithfully. But once 10 years went by,
8 years,
it was 10. It was 9 going on 10.
Right.
After that many years go by, paying the same amount of rent every month, and then get out here and find out how much rents went up to, oh my God. And then putting all our stuff in a storage, it was $600 and some a month paying that, which I was doing, but it kind of puts you in a situation where it's next to impossible to get a place when you're putting that much money out on storage, and you're living at, it's really expensive to be homeless. People think it's not. It's very expensive because people steal your stuff every day. I can't
don't
tell
have
you
refrigeration, so you have to buy food every day.
Food every day. People steal your hygienes constantly.
Put it this way: there's a lot of stealing going on.
A lot of stealing going on
both sides.
And we don't steal, so I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
We don't. I don't. I don't know what you're looking at me like that for, because I don't steal.
Me neither.
Well, what are you talking about? Clutch, come here. And
it's a good thing too.
I kept replacing the same stuff over and over and over. It's maddening. I could never get any further because I'm buying a cell phone again, or the same hygienes again, or
the one thing that bothers me most
again.
about the Airtel is when she moved out, they moved her on the other side of town. She lost half of everything she owned. That was some expensive stuff just disappeared.
It was all my brand new stuff I just bought. I lost it, and nobody would look for it. They said I took it. I said, no, I don't have it.
They told me to find the stuff in the stairwells, so I don't know what was going on.
I don't know what happened. If security took it.
If you don't mind me asking, how many years younger are you guys?
I'm 57.
I'm 60.
And this is your retirement?
Yeah.
Well, sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a bad hip, so I'm not doing much. I don't know what I'm going to do, really, to tell you the truth.
If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
I guess it would be, one wish to live happily ever after. And for everybody we know that's been out here struggling, that deserves it, to have the same. And for the world to go back to the way it used to be.
Yeah, it's crazy right now. Ed, any wishes?
No, that's about right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for talking to me.
Okay, no problem. Then.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.